CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Well, the Pat Bay Highway in Saanich was the scene of a crash this morning caused by a driver police say was weaving in and out of traffic before finally slamming into the back of a bus. Calls were flooding into the Saanich Police Department about 9:30 this morning with reports of a dangerous driver. Officers were in the process of tracking down the vehicle when they were called to a crash. The truck had slammed into the back of a BC Transit bus near Mackenzie Avenue. Police say the driver was extremely uncooperative, spat on an officer while claiming he was a member of the Hells Angels.
There is some suggestion that there is some affiliations, possibly out of the Lower Mainland, and again, a little bit early to tell. At this point in time, our first concerns are debriefing any witnesses, dealing with any injured parties, and continuing investigation at the hospital. So that's where we're at this point in time. We do have sufficient identification to know who was driving this vehicle, and there are some suggestions that there might be some gang affiliations, but at this point in time, it's too early to confirm.
As for the crash, nobody on the bus was hurt. The 25-year-old truck driver was taken to the hospital for treatment of minor injuries in handcuffs. RCMP from Port Alberni are frantically searching tonight for two hikers who are missing in the woods near Bamfield. The couple was picking mushrooms with their dog in the area near Clonard Creek and the Black Lake Main Road. Friends say the pair left at about noon Sunday. They were expected to return by that evening. Alberni Valley Search and Rescue was deployed today, but they say heavy rains and fog have altered the path to the search area.
We deployed some search crews this morning that encountered some difficulty accessing even Bamfield with a road culvert that had been washed out. They redirected and took an alternate route and are now on scene. Logistically, it's difficult to get resources on site, especially with the road being closed for a portion of time. We have resources coming in from different SAR groups around surrounding communities that are coming in to assist us at this point, as well as some convergent volunteers from the Bamfield area itself.
Rescue crews say if they have no luck finding the pair before it gets dark, and that will happen soon, they'll continue their search at first light tomorrow. We'll update the story at 6:30 on Vancouver Island Report. There was a peaceful end to a standoff with a gunman in an upscale hotel in downtown Vancouver earlier today. Shortly after 2 o'clock this morning, a man with a gun walked into the Fairmont Pacific Rim Hotel. Police helped some of the guests get out, escaping down a back stairwell. They told the others to stay in their rooms. Then a 10-hour standoff unfolded, coming to an end just before 1 o'clock this afternoon. A gunman surrendered and was arrested. The suspect is a 28-year-old Surrey man who's been taken to hospital with minor injuries. He is facing weapons charges. An elderly couple in Langford may not be home for Christmas after an early morning fire destroyed their house. All three Langford fire stations responded to the house fire on Haslam Avenue just after 6 o'clock this morning. When the fire crews arrived, there was heavy smoke coming from the home's attic, flames shooting out of the back of the house.
Firefighters from all three Langford stations responded, knocked the fire down quickly, the flames that were visible, and unfortunately, because the fire got into the attic, they're having some difficulty in getting all the small embers out and making sure that there's no further extension.
No one was hurt in the fire. The cause is still under investigation. Firefighters say there is extensive damage. The home is not a write-off, but any repairs will not be complete before the new year. Surprise political announcement in Ontario this afternoon. Premier Dalton McGuinty has resigned. McGuinty made the surprise announcement after an emergency meeting with his Liberal caucus. The Ontario government is facing a series of scandals, and McGuinty's government faced a second contempt motion in the Ontario legislature over 2 cancelled power plants and the cost of those. McGuinty has served 16 years as Liberal leader, the past 9 as Ontario Premier. And the fight against bullying rolled into Victoria today, the end of a cross-country trek aimed at shedding light on youth mental health issues. 25-year-old Ashley Gilbank reached mile 0 this afternoon on her rollerblades. She left Newfoundland in June and spent the past 5 months skating across Canada to raise money and awareness for youth mental health issues. She says she was inspired to complete the journey after a close friend killed herself.
I know what happened to her was tragic, but it changed my life. And I'm sure it changed a lot of other people. With Rachel's death, my whole world changed, and not because I lost a dear friend, but also because I realized I viewed suicide, like many others, as a weakness and not as a disease. And I really wanted to change at least one person's opinion on that.
Gilbank is the first woman to rollerblade across Canada, and so far she has raised more than $6,000 for her cause. If you'd like to support Gilbank's mental health fundraiser, you can do so. Go to skateforlife2012.com. Well, there is a new law now in effect in BC. If you are under the age of 18, you can no longer catch rays in a tanning bed anywhere in the province. Students at Oak Bay High School were celebrating this morning after collaborating with the Capital Regional District and provincial health officials on the initiative. The ban is in effect starting today. Businesses that violate it or fail to post a sign informing people of the ban will face a $345 fine. The Oak Bay students say these new rules will help lower the chances of developing skin cancer later in life.
I just hope that it makes people aware that cancer is all around us and that this is just helping out our youth mostly, but there's so many other cancers that there are out there, so we just need to try and work and prevent it.
And just to show youth that we really can make a difference in such serious topics that affect everyone, and that what we do does really change things.
It's just inspiring. These are young people who are making a positive difference in their community, and because they've come forward with this advocacy, they're actually impacting on the whole province. Not only do we have these regulations in place, but they're taking a role in promoting positive steps to prevent cancer.
The World Health Organization has found that indoor tanning before the age of 35 raises the risk of melanoma by 75%. Results of the Great Canadian Food Fight are in, and Victoria's mustard seed is on the podium. Thursday, the mustard seed put the message out to you asking for your urgent help during the two-day food fight, and you delivered in a big way again, donating nearly 45 tons of food and $57,000 in just 48 hours. The mustard seed placed third behind food banks in Regina and Halifax, but that's not the point. The response is overwhelming. Overall, donations across the country were down.
I look at it this way, what we raised we didn't have, both in food and money. So, we're very grateful for that, but we have to continue on with the momentum of building it up if we're going to survive.
The trend is going down, though. Since 2010, donations to the mustard seed have decreased by nearly 20%. And with Christmas around the corner, the food bank says financial donations remain crucial to ensure that its 7,000 monthly clients have food to eat this holiday season.
Boy, oh boy. Any wonder why my hair has turned white and it's fallen out? I panic, but sometimes I forget about the compassion of Victorian people. And believe me, if I rely on compassion out of the city, I shouldn't have anything to worry about, or none of us should have anything to worry about at the mustard seed.
Palmer says he is optimistic the Mustard Seed's Christmas hamper program will be in full operation this year. For more information on where to donate and how to help, visit mustardseed.ca. A First Nations artist in the Alberni Valley is working on a traditional project right now that has a modern twist. He's putting the finishing touches on the Sechot First Nation canoe project in Port Alberni. Joe Martin dug the canoe out with help from his brother and nephew, taking a modern approach to an ancient art.
The design of the hull is all the same, and how I learned to use power tools was just speeds things up a little bit more, because the people would use chisels, stone, bone, and fire, and they would actually burn. And then so today we have all these other tools that help us. Took my brother and my nephew and I just 1 month to do this canoe.
This is Martin's 50th canoe. It's nearly done. All it needs now is time to dry out, some seats, and a coat of paint. The canoe will be launched during a traditional tribal journey.
It will be used for tribal journeys. I think that would be a great thing for the younger generations coming up, and for the older ones to partake in the tribal journeys that happen that are hosted in different nations up and down the coast in Canada and in the imaginary line of the U.S.
The canoe is on display right now at the Native Art Gallery on the Pacific Rim Highway near Port Alberni.